Hi, it's Maggie here again, the latest edition of The Vocal Human. As you know, it's been a little while since I recorded the last one, which was done just before the election. As we now know, things didn't go the way we hoped they would, and in the first 50 days of the latest administration, all of our worst fears have been realised and more. And all the indications are that this is just the start. They're deliberately trying to go at breakneck speed. They're trying to do everything as damagingly, if that's such a word, I can't even tell at this stage, but in such a damaging way. There you go. And totally arbitrary. They're doing it deliberately, as they put it, for shock and awe, just to try and scare people into submission. And the initial reaction to the election before the inauguration was just that. I think everybody was so shocked that everything just went quiet. People didn't know what to do or how to go forward or anything. I think that since the inauguration, there's been a little bit of a repeat of that because it all just hit so hard so quickly. But I don't know about you, but I've been rather encouraged over the last few days and weeks in seeing just how much pushback there is, whether it's individuals or the courts or other countries. People aren't prepared to just roll over and take it. They're pushing back. And I think I may have mentioned before that, there was going to be some form of resistance, and I had no idea what shape that would take. And me being me, or, I don't believe in violence, and being English, you're always very reserved. You always hope that, the resistance doesn't have to be violent or strident or militant, that you can do a lot with persuasion and logic. And although it may soon be the case that something a little bit more active is necessary, it's encouraging, as I say, that just people using the strength of their voice is already having an effect. It is showing that there is some resistance, there is some fight in all of us. And that encourages me. And I think I've shared with you before that, my mother was born in wartime London, and went through the Blitz, and that's where Keep Calm and Carry On came from. And everyone got together. It doesn't matter who they were. They put all their normal petty differences and jealousies aside. And it didn't matter if you were, the vicar or just a normal person or someone who was running the black market. It didn't matter. The fact was that you all came together to fight the big evil. And you just kept your head down and you moved forward together. And you kept going until the fight was done. That's typical of English people, is that they're very slow to get involved in any sort of fight or disagreement. But when it becomes necessary, if you back them into a corner and the fight is all that's left, they will fight and they won't stop until it's done. And it's interesting because that characteristic has spread to what used to be their empire, and the Commonwealth as it is now. And seeing the way that Canada has reacted to the ridiculous comments made against them by, I refuse to call him the President of the United States, because he doesn't represent the people of the United States. All he is the president of the MAGA cult. That's it. But the way Canada responded to him is hugely encouraging and shows their mettle and their backbone, that they won't give in and they will push back. And it's interesting to see how he gets distracted from what he wants to do by someone pushing back. He's not expecting that. He expects to be able to bully people into submission. And when people fight back and are not being bullied, he doesn't quite know how to deal with it. Now, the more this increases, it's going to bring things, more to a head. And there's, several ways that could go. We could make a lot of progress and dilute a lot of what's going on and find a way of getting through the next few months and years. On the other hand, it could come to a point where he just loses all control and tries to enforce rather violent reactions. And that's when a whole different sort of resistance may be required. I hope it never comes to that. But seeing how motivated people are, not prepared to just lie down and give up, if that kind of resistance is needed, I'm sure people will rise to the occasion. It's so sad that he's clearly not someone who learns the lessons of history. He says he knows his history, but frankly, he's never learned a single lesson from history. Because one of the things that people remember most about the Civil War is how much it divided families. How, some were on the side of the Union and some were on the side of the Confederates. And it just drove a wedge right down the middle of some families. And it's happening today. I've been in contact with a lot of people who've said that they have members of their family who are in the MAGA cult and they just can't talk to them. They've lost all contact because they just cannot talk to them. And it would sadden me greatly to think that we may have to relearn the lesson of, if we want to be a unified country, then we have to act like it and not drive wedges between people. We've got to see what things bring us together rather than what divides us. The important thing is there's been so much humanity put on hold or even attempted to destroy it over the last few days and weeks that we have got to push back on that entirely. Our first form of resistance is to actually show people the example of what we're fighting for, which is a nation of people who believe in love and inclusion and who are there for each other. Woke has been they've tried to make woke a dirty word. Let's all be proud to be woke, because woke means we're there to look after each other. We're all in this together. So let's be the Woke Brigade and let's show others the example of what woke is and how that helps everybody and values everybody and shows everyone's beauty and their love for everybody. There are some people who unfortunately will go down with the MAGA ship, and there's nothing that we can really do to help them. And we've got to save our efforts for the people who really do need help and will need help once they realise just how much they've been sold down the river. But we have to add our voice to the cause in whatever way we can. I know it's not easy for some people. We can't all take risks. There's certain things I can't risk doing because, frankly, I would not get back in the country. But there's still plenty I can do. I can write postcards, I can get people together to give each other love and support. Other people are more active and able to go on marches or whatever. But whatever it is, we've all got to add our voice to the cause and refuse to be beaten and knocked down. So please take the time to comment, subscribe, like this. Any ideas for what we can do going forward, that would be great. But I want to try and do these more often and keep in touch with you guys, because together we can make this, okay? All right, big hugs from me. Love you all, and talk to you again soon, okay? Bye for now. Bye.